can I help you?
Here's your trash container key.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Yeah, it appears that we found the victim's clothes.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
Well, who else has keys to the trash container?
The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road.
Right, got it.
On Clinton Street, near the Boogie Street Diamond, a small truck rattles down an alleyway. It stops by a rusted trash container. Two men, their faces rough and swollen, jump out. They look at the container, despondently. CSM is written on their backs.
Thank you anyway.
So, do you think someone on your staff could have put them there?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
Yes?
Well, I seem to be in need of a fridge.
Yes. For the dead body. You want to put a dead corpse into my fridge, right?
That's right.
Correct him.
Correct him? Alright. No, we want to put a very important dead body into your fridge.
I don't care. You're not putting a dead body into my fridge.
Why?
Because this is a culinary establishment, not a morgue. I can't believe you even asked me.
It would only be for...
Lieutenant, you too? You're asking too? No. The answer is no. I will not turn this place into some kind of macabre circus.
Let's go talk to the freight clerk.
Alright, let's go talk to the freight clerk. Goodbye, hotel manager. See you later. Is it possible to call Sylvie and ask her about the trash and the keys?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I... This is... Yes. Hello?
Hello, Sylvie. This is the police again.
Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
Do you know how my paperwork ended up in the trash container behind the Whirling?
Well... You tried to jam it down the toilet, sir. Clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it.
Oh.
I am sorry about that. Anything else, detective?
No, nothing for now. I think I've got all I need.
You hear the call breaking up on the other end of the radio, and then the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
I'm done.
57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set...
Alright. That didn't go how I wanted it to. Or I thought it would.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard.
Nice.
It's a metaphor for you.
I will look at the clipboard.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM.
I will shake the ledger.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment?
Oh.
And something small inside? Light?
Oh.
Made of paper or cardboard?
Oh.
Or dried flowers, perhaps?
I will peek inside.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
How would I open it?
With your hands, you 4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Alright. I will smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete or Axel or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
Yeah, I know. Sylvia already told me I ducked into the toilet.
If you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting chucked into the trash, why are you sniffing it?
Well, the option was there, so...
So you wanted to get in on the trash toilet stink collab. Find out what happens when those two get funky together? Okay, pal.
What's wrong, Nose? Are you angry with me?
Yeah. Turns out your nose doesn't like self-indulgent literal shit huffing. Quelle fucking surprise. Come on, no more. The ledger is going back down, away from your nose now.
Alright, fine. We're not gonna smell the ledger anymore. I will inspect the toilet paper.
It's just toilet paper, sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Could it be kitchen tissue? I mean, they look exactly the same.
If you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue.
Alright, make a kitchen tissue then.
It's not, though. It's toilet paper.
Oh. Fine, I'll take it off.
Still wet, the toilet paper, I mean kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better.
Excellent. I will inspect the clip.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
I will run my fingers across the aluminum.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence.
Oh.
You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
How did I not notice this before?
Looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances.
Hey, Lieutenant. What's this?
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property.
Alright, what kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Alright, so how can I read it?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Like?
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
Ah.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Alright. That's all for now, thank you.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
I will browse the white papers.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense. if mostly illegible.
So what is in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Huh. Well, I have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. The tasks you've completed flow out of the pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager.
Alright, I will cross out the ones I've already finished.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the Citizens Militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
Well, first thing came to mind, the Hanged Man?
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now.
Alright, great.
I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Good, good, very good. There was a mention of a naming convention here?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
Oh my, they're written in capital letters too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
Are there any more?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
Well, according to this, it appears that 2 cases a week appear to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Hey, Kim. All my cases employ a naming convention similar to what we use in ours.
Yes, how very childish of you. In your and my defense, almost everyone in the RCM uses the titular system, in addition to the official alphanumeric.
And why is that, you think?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity, Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Well, it seems here that I've named the case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out.
What happened to him?
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Oh. Alright, I'm done inspecting these.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Alright, I will browse the yellow papers.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
What types of forms are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of.
Alright, I will examine field autopsy.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form, waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs, color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs.
Alright, what about station call?
These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. All in a print so small it could be considered downright cute.
Alright, I will examine the misconduct fine.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
Alright, that's enough of that.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
Alright, I will try to open the hidden compartment in the clipboard.
Is not what you end up doing.
Oh!
You squeeze the plastic to slide it open, but nothing happens. Then you bend it some. Then crack it.
Oh.
The goddamn thing is stuck.
Goddamn thing is stuck.
The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes, the pages rustle. This pathetic mess suddenly afraid of you for some reason.
Alright, well... Can I read the case files now?
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41. Then, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural.
Wait, HDB 41, weren't those officer precinct?
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
So HDB is...
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
Huh. Wow, I don't know what to say to that.
I got nothing here either. Logic really isn't the best faculty to have this conversation with. But it's the one you got. So sorry.
It's alright. So how long does it take to read a case?
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
I'll start with the square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
oh, so a sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next?
Murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how's that?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Alright, I'm sorry. Let's, get on with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
And was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
Go on.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Which is really stupid.
Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer.
Right.
No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
So he sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table and died?
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
Well, he must have been sucking a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
And what was Stephen doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together.
let's talk about the couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
But they actually looked like assholes.
Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it is. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
So, did I ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
The next world mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lettrers have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
So, do I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Oh, alright, read on.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Keep the mural. It's right.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority. And that love truly is possible in the next world for new people. And it is too late for us.
Well, middle class are not to be blamed. It's human nature.
Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
Sorry, I thought you didn't ask for my opinion? Ah, okay. Let's tackle the unsolvable case, shall we?
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop displaying his genitals and for Burke to stop attacking things would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability.
Can we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Leslie is exposing his genitals?
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger.
Oh.
He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
Oh.
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
Alright. Not bad for a drunk detective, right?
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Not at the moment.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Here we go. I'll try to crack that hidden compartment open on the knee, like Burke.
Just relax. The two sides of the board are slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. All you need to do is bend the plastic on your knee, slowly. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Alright, I'll slide the drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
And what's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Oh. I'll pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
I'll pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Alright, I will smell it.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored.
Oh.
A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says Tutti Frutti.
I will open the Tutti Frutti.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
But it might make me happy.
A merciful wind blows in from the bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
Let's go.
What? Who's that?
Frisson covers your entire body. A feeling of cold, a persistent chill.
No, I want to know. I'm gonna read it.
Your hands shake, holding on to it. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
I will hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Oh no, there's nothing.
Detective, is everything alright?
Is that it? Am I dead? What happened? Wait, what's happening? Begin? What do you mean begin?
There is nothing.
What?
Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery. Just blackout.
Oh, I guess I'll just lie here, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. slimy.
No, I was cool. I'm cool.
The cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Oh,
Tell him. Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do?
well, I mean, it smelled so nice.
It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
So was that the X something? The
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
yeah, that.
Don't prod at it. It will start moving again.
All right, where is this Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
All right.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What's that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you.
Oh.
And
It's delicious.
Oh.
Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
Thank you.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know
What?
the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Okay.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I don't know. You tell me.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
How long was I out?
10 minutes, maybe.
Oh, well, I don't know how to describe it. I think I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen. You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Yeah, let's just solve this case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Oh. Alright.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Hey, Kim, so, how do I turn on the headlights?
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
Okay.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps and the engine of the Caprice Kinema comes to life with a whiny growl. Like a leopard waking from its sleep, yawning and roaring at the same time.
Alright, I will press the button labeled headlights.
The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
Oh.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Alright. Stand in front of the machine.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
I will look at the perforations.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
I will tally up the different rows.
The first row has 18 dots.
And the next one?
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
I will count the dots individually.
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150. At least. Maybe even 200.
What about the last row?
The last row has 3 perforations.
3, that's it?
That's it.
Okay. I will look at the shimmering street grid.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kinema's headlights.
Where are we on this?
Let me see. Right here.
Huh. Well, I'm sure I've seen worse.
Oh yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt-out quarter.
All of them worse than here.
Alright. Hey, Kim, what do all these holes mean?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Alright.
Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
I'm not holding out for any hopes.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Wait, 18 years I've been doing this?
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
I don't know. Probably some boring office job, same as everyone else.
No shame in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after a long day of doing this, I even envy it. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see...
Hundreds.
Wow, more than 200.
Is that a lot for 18 years, or...?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
So I used to be good. That's some solace, I guess. What's the last number?
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
Oh.
Confirmed kills. That sounds pretty evil. A drink would soften that feeling.
Well... It's a low number, I guess, relatively speaking.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
So have you killed anyone, Kim? Any dots on your ledger?
Yes,
How do you handle the strain?
everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
What kind of hobbies?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
Maybe I should find a hobby.
Anything's better than annihilating yourself with drugs and alcohol.
Well, I'm trying to break into the karaoke business, so... Thanks for this, Kim.
The lieutenant nods.
Alright, let's go.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Thanks. I'm gonna also, let's see. I'll level up Inland Empire. There we go. I'll interact with the yellow mug later because I'm afraid that it will start up an hour-long conversation. So I'll leave it alone for now. Okay. Still got that in here. Oh my god. Look at all this shit I gotta do. Okay. I got some new thoughts here. -1 authority. I don't know. Oh, I can't internalize any thoughts anymore. These are all minus bonuses anyway, so until I have a need to reduce any of my stats, I'll just keep these here. 10 cents for every green orb clicked. What's this business about green orbs? Green orbs. Like, I don't even know what they look like. I haven't really been using the flashlight a lot. But apparently there's green orbs that I can find, and they give me money and stuff. Alright, let's go. Oh no. Shop's closed now. Everyone's gone home. I guess we're too late now. I was trying to like acquire a fridge for the corpse, but every place is shut now. Everyone's gone to sleep. So I guess I have until morning to explore and do stuff.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush.
Can't do anything here. Okay. Can I try? Let me try go into the apartment. Maybe I can talk to the smoking man. Wherever he is. I have to go around, don't I? I think so. Oh god. Alright. So down here first. And cross little bridge here. And then across here, right? Yeah, through the door, around the back. And okay, can we go in? We got the key. Oh, alright, good. We can at least do this now. Eviction notices and missing pets plaster on top of each other. Boxes filled with cleaning chemicals. Smells of laundry detergent. Oh, some flip-up glasses. Are they good? My current glasses give me +1 electrochemistry and -1 logic. That's not good. I'll happily replace them with these. +1 logic, -1 authority. Sure, why not? Alright. Alright, now that we're in a safe space here, let's interact with the Yellow Man mug.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
Well, there's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all that content.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do.
But it was in the trash. Why
Yes.
not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work. Just finish your case, detective.
Oh. Well, if you say so. Alright, Kim, let's
We
talk.
should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
Well, I don't think I can. Still haven't paid the cafeteria manager for the damages.
You should take care of that, then.
But I don't have money.
Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the street. We'll figure something out.
Oh, man. Look, if you want to go to bed, you can go to bed. I'm gonna keep exploring. An old shoe rack. Boots, sneakers, and old slippers. Oh. There we go. Hello? Moss crawls on those bathroom towels. Actual moss. Shower curtains covered in some sort of slime. Ooh. Ooh, some Commodore Red. Okay, don't mind if I do. Apartment 12, loud rumbling, snore comes from within. Ooh. Oh. I thought the loot was the shoes. Someone has drawn a 5-pointed star on the wall.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11.
I will knock.
No reply.
I will examine the padlock.
It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise.
Alright, alright. I'll whip them out for you, if you want. Let me just get rid of this flashlight. Alright.
This door has been closed with a padlock.
Here we go.
Drawn number. The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
After you, detective.
Excellent. Let's go inside. Oh? Flamboyant poster of a white star. Real lithography.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov.
Impressive.
Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
Hey, Kim. Gotta admit, this Krasmazov here bears a striking resemblance to me.
Hold on a second. Is this why you broke in here? To find out whether you're Krasmazov?
No, I'm not saying that I am Krasmazov, I'm just saying that we look alike.
Sure you are.
Come on, don't you see the resemblance?
Well, you both do seem to share an affinity for sideburns. But it seems like old Kras here didn't drink nearly as much as you.
Yeah, maybe this bus shows him before he started drinking. You ever thought about that?
Very well. Let's look for identifying features then. Doesn't he have a birthmark right here? What about you?
You tell me. I can't see my face.
Alright, but here's the big thing. Krasmazov looks Samaran, and you don't.
Well, I'm actually 1/16th Samaran.
Okay, you win. Be Krasmazov then. I don't care.
Yes!
Why are you so hell-bent on proving that you're Krasmazov anyway?
Because... Well, because... I don't know. It's just a feeling I have. And I trust my feelings.
Alright, Kras. If you say so.
But more importantly, why does this tenant have a bust of Krasmazov in their bedroom?
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
Well, whoever lives here needs to learn how the economy actually works.
I suspect that's exactly what they are trying to do. There aren't many communists around. Not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems.
Yeah, so it seems. Fascinating. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns. Books of critical theory on the monstrosities of capital and such. Ooh. Nice. A lounge jacket. What?
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Well, why are they white?
Because white is the color of peace.
Why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
What's the deal with the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it.
So what does this evoke in me?
Smug superiority, aesthetic musings. The triumph of capital is undeniable. But maybe the guns were sort of cool. Revolutionaries had loads of guns.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They did, didn't they? Ooh, 7. Who's leaving 7 reals in here?
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Hello? This is the police. Open up.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason.
Alright. We'll leave it be for now. Door number 9 is locked. More reals. I also got a new jacket, didn't I? A lounge jacket. +1 conceptualization. No. This gives me +1 suggestion. I'm not gonna dump that away for conceptualization. No, sir. Crumpled up postcard depicting an open-air market in Biggie Streets around 5 years ago. The vendor smiling as dead roosters line his stalls, hung by their feet from canopy. Red blood flows onto the muddy streets. Blurry shadows of people pass. Why did I pick it up? I don't know. Promenade, mailbox is overflowing. Graffito says, a firing squad for the rich. Okay, note reads, foreclosed by Martinez Realty Associates.
A shift in temperature. The air chills around you. Dust settles on the stony floor.
Ooh.
A former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and frozen, with temperatures falling down to -20 degrees Celsius. Is red from the cold. She's breathing on her fingers, clasping the plan. Traces of sadness are visible in her expression.
And the plan...
Faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place, but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. Ideas for arranging the furniture have been jotted down.
Alright, I will look around myself.
It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls. A standard HB graphite pencil has fallen off a three-legged stool in the middle of the room.
Shivers. It's waves crashing in the darkness. Someone has torn down the wall. The old grocery list on the table. And checks. Interesting. Alright. Nothing else here, is there? There's an exit. Do I want to go to the exit right now? Did I miss something? I didn't go to the other side here, did I? Here we go. Or maybe I did. Yeah, I did. This is where I started. Okay. So... do I go to the exit door or the balcony door? Let's go to the balcony door. See where that leads. If it leads outside or if it leads upstairs. Oh, it leads upstairs. Okay. Alright, finally. Finally I can get those bottles. There we go. Hello, miss.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
Well, we cops don't like closed doors or unreachable perches, or people having high ground on us.
Yeah, you got me now. The dynamic between us has completely changed.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Is that heavy fuel oil?
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
I think you'd better hand it over, ma'am.
Oh, what? You'll push me off this ledge and pry the bucket from my dead hands?
Maybe. Just not right now. Not until you give me a reason to. Door is locked. Above, tarps flap in the wind. Forgotten hammers and nails rust. And 2.25 reals. Alright, let's open this door. I guess these are the higher apartments here. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy? 100 tiny feet scurrying beneath a grate. The rats of the city. Oh. Oh. Nice. Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. And that's it. Okay. Going back outside.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Hey, is that bed in the coal room yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Really? You are a miner?
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens.
So, don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
Well, I guess it could be worse.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Alright then.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Not tonight. Alright, so this door is locked. So how do I get to the smoking man? Is he the one that's snoring? There's an apartment that we couldn't get into because the guy was snoring. Let's see where this exit leads. Oh, I can use the key to get in from this side as well. Okay. Yeah, I guess he's sleeping right now. So, okay. Got some new genes, +1 electrochemistry, -1 reaction speed. How high is my reaction speed? 3. And my savoir-faire is less than that. I'm not gonna sacrifice reaction speed just for genes. So I'm gonna go. Oh! Got a new thoughts? The suicide of Kraz. This is -1 rhetoric. Why do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. What do I have in my hand? Oh, those are the chain cutters? They look like pliers. Didn't know that they're this tiny. Oh god. I'll replace them with my flashlight again. Here we go. Just in case I find more of these so-called green orbs. I still haven't found one, but apparently they're there. Okay, so now we can... Ah, God. Got 20 reals, that's something. Let's go to... Oh. What was that? I just had a thought. Sewer gate. Great. Oh, really? I can't steal his stuff? He's not here to guard them. Come on. I guess you can say that he took his merchandise with him. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I should be able to steal his stuff if I wanted to. At least the pawn guy is still up and running. Alright, man.
If you don't mind, please put the flashlight away.
Photonic sensitivity is not generally acknowledged by the medical establishment.
Sorry about that.
I do appreciate it.
Just can't win today. Alright. We'll just keep the chain cutters around.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here?
So, you're still open, huh?
The pawn shop is always open.
Alright. I wanted to ask about my missing gun again.
Sure thing. Sure, man.
Okay, it's something I'd like to sell.
Sure. Let me have a look.
Can I sell my clothes?
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
Alright, let me check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Oh, I can only pawn... Okay. I guess I'm...
Another time, perhaps.
I guess I'll have to, look for a clothes merchant to sell my clothes.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Heimdall burning. The antlers on the hood of the man's cloak and his piercing blue eyes are familiar.
What's the deal with the man on the t-shirt?
It's the man from Heimdall.
Oh.
Walking away from his burning village. Yes.
Who's the man from Heimdall again?
The man from Heimdall is the hero of a series of popular books based on a fictional version of Kotla. Mostly what is nowadays Arda NFD. In fact, most people don't think that man from Heimdall ever really existed. But they are wrong.
Heimdall isn't a real place.
Neither is the man a real man, of course. But both the man and Heimdall are an ontological necessity. But hey, it's not worth getting into an argument about.
No. Elaborate. What did you mean the man from Heimdall was real?
I mean, even if the man from Heimdall didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he has. It's simple, really.
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of cause and effect. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Heimdall, and watched northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there.
Very, very unique energies indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say.
I will sniff the t-shirt.
Smells like worn cotton and a little old sweat there.
Oh.
Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy.
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about?
Hey, how much for the t-shirt?
2 real.
Oh.
That's dirt cheap.
Well, if that's the case, then can you just give it to me for free?
But why?
maybe I can repay you in some other way.
I deal in goods, not services.
Alright, Alright, I'll get the man from Helmdall t-shirt.
Welcome to Helmdall, officer.
Thanks.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and tape. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
Hey, how much for the streetlight?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Even taking into account the risk of obtaining the light, that seems a bit steep.
There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Sure, man. Sure, whatever you say. Alright.
The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber, harm.
Still don't have any tapes, so I'm not gonna buy the tape player just yet.
You see, try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Oh, win her back?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine.
Alright, I guess I'll buy the headless Fallon Rider. And his cap.
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him. You see rows of toys.
Oh, thanks for that. Anything else to buy? Just the cassette tape and the street lamp. I'm not gonna buy that.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here?
Okay. He's not gonna be answering any more questions. Okay. So, can I... Is it like an equipable thing? No, it's just an item. Oh, wait. There we go. Alright, I'll keep it around, I guess. Clothes. +1 physical instrument. +1 physical instrument. There you go. And +1 shivers, but -2 to authority. That's alright. I'm not an authoritative person anyway. So, take off the tank top. Put on the cool Hemdell shirt. Hell yeah. Alright. I guess that's it. I mean, the pawn shop is the only place that's open, so there's not really much for me to do besides go back in and, you know, call it a day, really. We'll talk to the manager and see if we can work something out. If even he's still around.
Can I help you?
So, about that money I owe.
Yes. Have you got it?
Look, I was wondering if you could come to some sort of arrangement for tonight.
Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
Look, I'll pay you back tomorrow. I'm an honest cop, alright?
As a police officer, you must understand that I cannot take you at your word without evidence. Evidence being money. You can't stay here without money.
This conversation isn't going anywhere, is it?
Not until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Alright. Thank you for your time. Alright, and we're going back outside to the motor carriage. Am I gonna have to sleep in his car? To hell, man. Not cool. I don't even want to sleep. I only have to sleep because all the shops are closed.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers arrayed.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Oh, Kim, no, hold on a minute.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage.
What do you got back there?
The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark.
I confiscated these 4 a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
Oh, you confiscated them. What do you mean?
A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high.
So you took his spinners?
Mm-hmm. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence.
Well, isn't that what they call, corruption?
I don't know. Is it? I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back.
So, you wanted to put these spinners on your machine?
No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cop with spinners. That would be outrageous.
Yeah, you're right. It'd be too wacky.
Exactly.
Well, there you have it. It's only right that we sell them.
Don't make your unpaid hostel bill a moral boon, officer. It won't stick.
Oh.
Shut down.
Oh.
I have nothing to add.
No. Kim, why? I'm trying to make light of a dark situation here. Alright, I appreciate your help.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
I'm only taking them because they weren't yours to begin with.
As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They are also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
Alright then. Let's close the door. I'll take a shot of hydrogen, whatever it's called, magnesium. Okay. Alright. We'll go to the pawn store. So you're saying that these 3 spinners are worth... what? At least... together they're worth at least 120, 130 reals? Really? I'll see it when I believe it, you know? Especially when it comes to this guy. I bet it's gonna give me 90 reals for it.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here?
I have something to sell.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump a mesk banger?
Oh.
No matter. I'll give you 200 real.
200 each?
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course. I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you. Do come again.
Oh, 200, yeah, not 20. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was a low number.
Thank you.
That's very good, actually.
Here's the 130 real you need for your bill.
Oh.
Do not waste it.
Hey, what about the...
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
No, not at the moment.
Another time, perhaps.
See you later. Alright, fine. Can't believe I'm making a big score out of these hubcaps and then give all my money away to... Well, it's only fair, right? You know? I can't leave people hanging. They got mouths to feed. They got a family to try to help out and stuff. Walk around making money while they still are short 130 real. That doesn't seem right, so might as well get it over with. Hey, there you go.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it?
Yes, I have it.
Well?
Here it is. Sorry for the trouble.
Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow.
He's not sorry about his behavior for your sake. Now that you have money, he really wants to make sure you're not angry with him.
I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m.
Oh.
Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Not at the moment. Thank you. Alright. I guess we're going to our rooms. Going to bed and waking up on a brand new day. I'll level up my visual calculus. Sounds like a helpful skill to have, to learn, to do. Okay. So...
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
I guess, I'll see you tomorrow, Lieutenant. Good night.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Oh, alright. Let's go.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
Alright, so help me out here. What are our powers exactly? The RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
Really, 1,000 max? Why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol.
And wouldn't that be an easy power to, you know, abuse?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station.
Oh.
Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
Alright, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
I see, and if someone resists?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
So if I kill someone while on duty...
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
Alright, and what happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
And who makes all these rules?
The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
It's probably the coalition government.
It's probably more honest, yes. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
So what's the moral intern exactly?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
And if I didn't know, hypothetically, how would you describe them?
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous. Something even a little feminine. But in a strict manner. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Who's Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
I see.
For you, she is something painful, though it's hard to say why.
So what do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
Alright, I think I have an opinion on the moral intern.
Do you?
Well, I believe they have done an awful job here. Have you seen the place? This isn't humanism.
We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
And what's wrong with that? I think vigilantes are okay with me.
Then you will adore Martinez. For many of these people, the Union especially, vigilantes is precisely what we are. Personally, I don't enjoy it much.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revachol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over.
So, how do you think today went?
Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. Our inspection could have been more thorough, as it always can, but we have some leads we can follow up on. Then you shot the body down, which was quite the shot.
I was inspired by your confidence in me, Kim.
I admit I wasn't sure whether I should give you the gun, but I'm glad I did. Your shot enabled us to perform a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with.
Uh-huh.
I still feel like we are missing something, and there's still work to do at the crime scene too.
He's right. You could smell it. That something is missing, even under the overpowering odor of the corpse.
Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean.
The initial interviews, you mean? Yeah, well, we talked to some people.
Not always the right people, I'm afraid. We weren't able to find the union leader, Everard Clare, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We tried to interview the Wild Pines rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. But fine, so be it. We learned some interesting things along the way. We have to get Joyce to talk to us. I have a feeling she knows how dangerous the situation really is. But we also have to be careful about what we share with her. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
It's more of a...
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
I don't like to waste time, you know. My mind moves fast. The rest has to try to keep up.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those heels.
What? Heels?
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green.
Thanks.
Goes with the orange.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for the compliment. We could manage it even in wooden clogs. There are uncanny running reservoirs in this body. God knows why.
So, I didn't know you smoked, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Right, well, anyways.
Yes. It's been a long and eventful day.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get back to it. Into my room and into my bed. See you in the morning. Alright though. Can I do something about this window here?
The window stands broken in its frame. You see some lights shimmering outside. You see some lights.
I can only see the lights. Alright. Can I open this? Nope. Can I fix the mirror?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
No. Alright then. Well, nothing else to do. Going to sleep.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
I will crawl in.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes.